Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled 16 Reasons the Best Women Often Stay Single the Longest. And in reality, this article should really be called 16 Reasons How Women Delude Themselves as to Why They're Alone. Or at the very least, some women delude themselves why they're alone. And guys, this article written by a woman is all about, she lists 16 different pretty ridiculous reasons why women in this day and age, they're single, not because it's not their fault that they're single. It's all these reasons why they're single and all that. And some of these are going to sound very familiar that you've heard before. And other ones are outright just ridiculous. And I'm doing this again, guys, because I've done a lot of videos where you have women complaining that they're in their 30s and 40s. And guess what? There are no guys out there, or no good guys out there, or no guys want them, and they don't understand it. And they want to attack guys for not making enough money, having enough status, having enough education, being mature enough, or just simply that the good guys just don't want to settle down. That the good guys should man up. And how many guys have been out with women like this when they were younger, and been burned by women like this, and dumped because you weren't good enough, and then these same women whine and complain later in life that they're alone and no family and their biological clock and stuff like that. You know, I know a bunch of women like this. I know a bunch of women between mid-30s and mid-40s, and oftentimes a lot of these women they've focused on their career, okay, and they've definitely ridden the carousel, but a lot of them have developed this my way or the highway personality traits. They're very masculine, very domineering, and they wonder why no guy wants to actually get involved with them besides maybe an occasional hookup here and there, right? And I'm sure many guys watching this know women like this. But you have women come on here and write articles like this trying to convince women that, it's okay that you're alone because you're so fabulous. That's nonsense. So it's a funny thing. I'm going to go over and add in my 2 cents here and there. So it starts out saying, in a world where being coupled up or in a relationship seems like all the rage, the reality is that being single can actually be better. While it's nice to have someone to love, cuddle, and support you when things get scary, there's nothing more exciting and fulfilling than the relationship you have with yourself. You get to do things on your terms, by your watch, and others be damned. Here we go. It sounds like the my way or the highway types. And the way she writes this article, guys, it's almost not like a woman's writing. It's more like a guy's writing, a single guy. Because I encourage you guys, I make it quite clear, don't get married. I say I don't do relationships, but if you guys want to do them, like exclusive relationships, just you're not dating other people, just one girlfriend, that makes you happy, go for it. Just don't get married and don't move in with them because it's going to make things go south real quick. But the way this is written, it's written almost like it's written for guys. You're going to see, but again, thanks to the you-know-what movement, they've been trying to mold women to be more masculine and be more like guys for decades, and obviously it's working. But again, I think this is written by a woman that probably has been burned a lot of times, and now she needs to write these things to make herself feel better about being alone, and obviously missed her time earlier in life. Continues, there may be pluses to getting married, but it can also be a bit overrated. Well, I agree with her there. Instead, being single for as long as possible is, at least for some women, the way to go. Here are 16 reasons why the best women stay single the longest. You just might realize you're one of them. Guys, the only women I know that want to actually be single are women that have been married once, if not twice, and have done it and realized it doesn't work, and they're now like in their late 40s or maybe early 50s, and they realize the whole concept of the one is horse shit, and they themselves make good money, have good lives, and they date and hook up and have a good time. And that's that. There's no pressure on guys, no bullshit, But for women that haven't been married, the whole thing that it's overrated and all that. I don't know any women that haven't been married that realize that. Okay, not one. They all want that. They all want the families. It's only the ones that have been through this and realize that it's a crock and doesn't work in this day and age anymore. They're the ones that say, okay, I just want to date and have a good time, and that's that. So, number 1, the first reason why, you deserve an amazing guy. It's always about the deserving thing. Whether it's for another human being or some job that you know you're better than, you just refuse to settle in any way. Since that's the case, you sure as hell aren't going to waste your time being with someone who doesn't live up to your standards. Standards. Okay, now define the standards. Is it obviously someone that has a job and can take care of themselves? Those are decent standards. Or does it have to be a guy that makes 6 figures, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, more than 6 inches down there? That type of thing, okay? It's funny when you see articles like about women complaining there's no guys, or articles like this, because we all know darn well in this day and age that women are so darn picky. And that's because, like I said before, about the constant validation from guys in their personal lives, as well as social media and dating apps and all that. And also commercials, like the L'Oreal, because you're worth it. And the you know what movement, convincing women that, hey, they deserve everything. And that's why these attitudes are there, that they're so darn picky, Number 2, you like doing what you want when you want. You like to come and go as you please. You go to dinner when you want to and sleep like a starfish in your bed alone. You don't need or want attachments that are going to interfere with your plans. This sounds a lot like my way or the highway. And a lot of these women I know, between 35 and 45, they're all that way. It is their way or the highway. In anything, they're control freaks. And it is any wonder every single one of them cannot get a boyfriend. Some of these women I know are good looking, and it's no problem having guys will hook up with them because guys are guys, but that's it. They don't want anything to do with them beyond that point. My way or the highway. It's not a turn on for a guy. Basically, the women are acting like men. Next one. You're a natural risk taker. You've never been conventional in your thoughts or actions, and you're the first one, your friends, to sign up for a cliff jumping or skydiving. You'd prefer to know the thrill of living on the edge and huddling away in a life that's ordinary. Well, you know what? There are guys that are like that, so don't blame the fact that you like to do, crazy risk-taking stuff like skydiving or whatever it happens to be. There are guys that are adrenaline junkies. That's not a problem. Next one, number 5. You're so unique that it's not easy to find a good match for you. So unique. Someone who has a penchant for jumping out of planes and drinking milk past the expiration date, too. Translation, honestly, guys, you're such an oddball at times that you turn guys off. Don't give me the unique stuff. Number 6. Your top priorities don't include being someone's girlfriend or wife. Sounds like that whole that saying about women need men the way fish needs a bicycle. Far too many women define themselves by being the girlfriend or wife of someone else. They allow themselves to be absorbed into the life of another until they're no longer their own entity. But you, the woman who's going to stay single the longest, doesn't buy into that. You have an identity, and that doesn't involve being one part of a whole. You are already whole. Well, give it time, because eventually the biological clock will start ticking, and you're going to want a guy, and unfortunately by then, the women are going to be past their prime, and it's going to be way, way harder. I mean, statistically, women once they hit 35, their opportunities take a nosedive. I'm not saying they can't get guys. I'm talking about guys that actually want to settle down with them, because a lot of those guys that actually meet their standards, they're getting younger women, because there are younger women out there that will settle down. Okay, they're not all spending their 20s focusing on career and all that. They may be riding the carousel, but they're not focusing on career. Number 7, you love the excitement of first kisses. Kissing the same person for the rest of your life? Having sex with the same person until you're dead? Are you kidding me? You're holding out enjoying first kisses with new people as long as possible. Translation, carousel. But I can agree with that, because I can't imagine being with the same person forever, but that's me, okay? And again, like I said, you can tell, it's almost like this is written for guys. Number 8, you want to taste all the flavors of the casual sex scene. You never really know what you're into until you taste all that is to offer. And casual sex is definitely the way to do that. Again, back to the carousel. And I do agree with this, but here we are with the carousel. And again, it's like this is written for a guy. Number 9, you'd rather not share your hard-earned money. Yeah, sure, spend his money. In relationships, things become 50-50, and suddenly you have to watch your spending for the sake of your partnership. You're not ready to give up your frivolous spending on your hard-earned cash for the future of your relationship. Well, pretty much most women are terrible with money. I'm not saying all, but most women are more likely to spend than guys are, and guys are more likely to save. Again, not all guys are like that. I got a friend, he's a great guy, but this guy, he cannot save money. This guy spends money like crazy, but I think he has a problem there, that department. But generally, guys can save. This is why a lot of guys, if they get divorced and they take a huge hit, and everything, they can rebuild their lives because they can hunker down and save and be frugal for a number of years and rebuild their wealth and investment and all that. Women can't, because people make their buying decisions based on emotion, and since women are driven by their emotions, at least absolutely most of them, they're going to spend and they're not think things through. So yeah, she doesn't want to settle down because she's going to have to stop spending like she did. But reality is she may spend a lot of the guy's money. Next one, number 10. You don't want to have to check in with anyone. Nothing kills a night quite like your partner texting you at 3 a.m. asking you where you are. Screw that noise. You want to stay out until dawn until you feel like it. Look, if you're in a relationship and your girlfriend is out till 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't know where she is, you bet your ass a guy is going to wonder where she is. And frankly, if that happens often, that guy shouldn't be in a relationship with her, because given what she was talking about early in the article, we probably know what is going on here. Come on here. Again, this sounds like it's written for a guy. Number 11. You love being the single girl at weddings. Single women at weddings kill it in the guy department. Not only do you have to have single men eyeing you, but married men who miss their single days too. It's also a perfect time to celebrate the fact that you don't have to deal with your own wedding anytime soon, which also means more money for shoes, brunch, and trips to faraway places. What she says there about all the single men and the married men eyeing her, what I tell you guys, validation, validation, validation. Women cannot live without it. Again, I've heard before, literally, women with validation is like a plant that needs sunlight and water. Okay, you need that, okay? And the fact of saying, celebrate the fact that you don't need your own wedding anytime soon. Most women, by the time they're in their late 20s, I don't know any single women that go to weddings in their late 20s and definitely in their 30s that aren't envious of the bride because they want that too. I don't know many that do that. Number 12, you don't want to give up vacuuming in the nude. Your apartment is a clothes-free territory, and you want to keep it that way, whether you're vacuuming, eating, or sprawling out on the couch watching Netflix. That's just stupid. Number 13, you love the freedom of not having plans. Your singlehood allows you to drop everything on a Friday and jet off to Rome when you want. When was the last time any of your married friends did such a thing? Well, I don't know any single people that just pick up and go off to Rome like that or somewhere else. Not many. I mean, I know some people that obviously do well for themselves, but they still have jobs and they can't just pick up and leave. So come on here. But I do understand wanting to have the freedom. Okay, but again, this is for me as a guy. I can pick up and go when I want. In the pre-COVID world, because I own my own business, now I have two businesses, if I choose to take time off, I can pick and choose when I work. So I can take off then, and it's great, but usually at this point in time, women are the ones that want to settle down and have families. So again, I'm convinced that the woman writing this article, let's just say she's probably not have guys chasing after her, so to speak, and therefore she has these opinions and so forth. And he's convinced herself how fabulous she is and how fabulous this life is, because she doesn't have the other one. Number 14, you're busy building an empire. While others have a job, you have a career, and it's important to focus on that and as far as you can take it. Well, again, that sounds like with a guy. Guys building the empire. This is masculine energy, But that's all, again, fine and dandy until the biological clock goes off and she wants to have a family. And by then, it's too late because she's not as appealing as she once was in her prime in her 20s. Number 15, you don't have the time for someone else's problems. Being in a relationship means dealing with someone else's crap. And you just don't have time for that. You have your own problems. And once you get those figured out, then maybe you'll take on the drama of someone else and their issues. Again, this sounds like a guy. Literally, this article could be written for a guy, by a guy. He's a very masculine woman doing this. Number 16, you're not concerned about your biological clock. Give it time. In fact, when others bring it up, you just laugh. Really. The only reason you ever look at the clock is to see how many more drinks you can get in before happy hour is over. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. This same woman is going to be eventually writing the articles to say no men want me and boo-hoo, and those guys need to man up and be men and settle down and get married and all that. I've already seen YouTube videos of women doing this, and it's definitely going to happen more and more as time goes on. Last one, number 17, and this one's pretty ridiculous. You're already in a relationship with yourself. Sounds like Emma Watson and her I'm self-partnered bullshit that we heard about earlier in the year. You don't need to commit yourself to anyone else because you got something really awesome going on with yourself. You can count on yourself, provide for yourself, and you can make yourself orgasm like no one else out there. You got it made and plan on keeping things this awesome for as long as possible. Again, I think this woman's been burned and she's by herself and doesn't like it, so she's convincing herself and others to be like her. But again, it's just amazing here. But that's great about do it as long as possible. But what until the biological clock goes off? That's going to happen, and we're going to get the same woman writing articles about boo-hoo, I'm alone, and blame guys. But anyhow, guys, I wrote this. I did this article because it's just funny hearing the way some of these women try to convince themselves that they're so happy that they're alone and all that, and basically acting like guys. But again, the reality is we all know darn well that sooner or later, it may take till they're 30 years old or 35, but eventually they all want to settle. They all want to have families and have kids. And the only ones that don't are actually the ones that have been married, because I know some that are like that, and they're having a great time in their late 40s, early 50s, just dating and having a good time because they know it's all bullshit. But this woman obviously hasn't been married once. It's ridiculous. So, but anyhow, guys, thought that'd be a fun thing to read here on Monday. But that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.